Introducing Grade 12 Biology, SBI 4U. 1. Delve into the intricate world of biochemistry, investigating the structure, function, and interactions of molecules within biological systems, including the role of proteins, enzymes, nucleic acids, and metabolic pathways in sustaining life processes. 2. Explore the underlying mechanisms and regulation of metabolic processes essential for energy production, storage, and utilization in living organisms, including the breakdown of nutrients, cellular respiration, and the synthesis of complex biomolecules. 3. Investigate the principles of molecular genetics, decoding the mechanisms of gene expression, DNA replication, transcription, and translation, and exploring the impact of mutations, gene regulation, and genetic variation on inherited traits and disease susceptibility. 4. Study the concept of homeostasis as the maintenance of internal balance and stability in organisms, examining physiological processes such as thermoregulation, osmoregulation, and feedback mechanisms that enable organisms to adapt to internal and external environmental changes. 5. Analyze population dynamics, exploring the interactions between individuals and their environment, population growth models, predator-prey relationships, competition, symbiosis, and the impact of human activities on ecosystems and biodiversity. 6. Conduct hands-on laboratory investigations to apply theoretical concepts and principles learned in class, developing practical skills in experimental design, data collection, analysis, and interpretation, and reinforcing knowledge through experiential learning experiences. 7. Engage in critical thinking and problem-solving tasks that challenge students to apply their understanding of biological systems to real-world scenarios, analyze scientific data, draw evidence-based conclusions, and communicate findings effectively through scientific reports and presentations. 8. Develop an appreciation for the interdisciplinary nature of biology and its connections to other scientific disciplines and fields such as chemistry, physics, ecology, genetics, biotechnology, and medicine, fostering a holistic understanding of the complexity and interconnectedness of life processes. This course is comprised of 5 units and a final assessment as follows. Unit 1. Biochemistry, 20 hours. 1. Explore the technological applications that modulate biological processes in various industries, such as food production, pharmaceutical advancements, and medical treatments, considering innovations in genetic engineering, biotechnology, and drug development that have revolutionized these fields. 2. Investigate the molecular interactions and chemical properties of biomolecules, including proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids, to understand how their structures influence cellular activities, enzymatic reactions, signal transduction pathways, and metabolic processes essential for life. 3. Examine the impact of molecules on cellular and biological activities, analyzing the mechanisms of enzyme-substrate interactions, gene expression regulation, membrane transport, cellular signaling, and metabolic pathways involved in energy production, growth, and homeostasis in living organisms. 4. Research the role of bioactive molecules, such as vitamins, hormones, neurotransmitters, and pharmaceutical compounds, in modulating cellular functions and physiological responses, identifying their targets, mechanisms of action, and therapeutic implications in human health and disease. 5. Investigate cutting-edge technologies, such as gene editing, CRISPR-Cas9, recombinant DNA technology, and personalized medicine, that manipulate biological processes at the molecular level to address genetic disorders, create genetically modified organisms, and develop targeted therapies for various medical conditions. 6. Analyze the structural and functional roles of biomolecules within cells, elucidating how proteins facilitate cellular processes, DNA encodes genetic information, lipids compose membranes, and carbohydrates provide energy and structural support, contributing to the complexity and organization of cellular functions. 7. Explore the biochemical pathways and metabolic networks that govern energy production, nutrient synthesis, and waste elimination in cells, tracing the flow of molecules through metabolic reactions, cycles, and regulatory mechanisms that maintain cellular homeostasis and sustain life processes. 8. Evaluate the significance of biochemistry in understanding disease mechanisms, drug interactions, metabolic disorders, and genetic abnormalities, drawing connections between molecular dysfunctions and clinical manifestations to advance diagnostics, treatment strategies, and disease prevention efforts. Unit 2. Metabolic processes, 20 hours. 1. Explore the biochemical pathways involved in metabolic processes, including glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, and other energy-producing reactions, unraveling the chemical transformations that convert nutrients into cellular energy, ATP. 2. Investigate the catabolic and anabolic reactions that regulate energy metabolism, examining how carbohydrates, fats, and proteins are broken down and synthesized to fuel cellular activities, maintain cellular structures, and support growth and repair processes. 3. Analyze the role of enzymes, coenzymes, and metabolic cofactors in catalyzing biochemical reactions, understanding how these biological catalysts regulate the rate of metabolic processes, control metabolic flux, and coordinate energy production in cells. 4. Evaluate the importance of metabolic homeostasis in maintaining internal balance and energy equilibrium within the body, exploring how regulatory mechanisms, hormone signaling, feedback loops, and metabolic networks enable organisms to adapt to changing energy demands and environmental stressors. 5. Examine the impact of metabolic disorders, such as diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and inherited metabolic diseases, on human health and well-being, identifying how dysregulation of metabolic processes can lead to chronic diseases, metabolic imbalances, and systemic complications. 6. Investigate the metabolic adaptations that occur in response to physiological states, such as fasting, exercise, thermoregulation, and stress, studying how the body shifts between energy storage and utilization modes to meet metabolic demands and maintain cellular homeostasis. 7. Explore the bioenergetic principles of energy transfer and transformation in biological systems, including the conversion of chemical energy, ATP, into mechanical work, heat production, and biosynthesis, to understand the thermodynamics and efficiency of metabolic pathways in sustaining life processes. 8. Apply knowledge of metabolic processes to personal health choices, diet-related decisions, environmental sustainability, and societal challenges, recognizing the significance of nutrition, exercise, metabolic health, and energy balance in promoting individual well-being, community resilience, and environmental conservation. Unit 3. Molecular genetics, 20 hours. 1. Investigate the structure and function of DNA as the genetic material that stores hereditary information in all living organisms, understanding the molecular mechanisms of DNA replication, transcription, and translation in encoding proteins and controlling cellular processes. 2. Explore the central dogma of molecular genetics, elucidating the flow of genetic information from DNA to RNA to protein synthesis, and analyze how gene expression is regulated by transcription factors, epigenetic modifications, and post-transcriptional modifications in cells. 3. Examine the genetic code and protein synthesis, decoding the relationship between nucleotide sequences in DNA or RNA and the amino acid sequences in proteins, and understanding how the genetic code is universal, degenerate, and non-overlapping in specifying protein structures and functions. 4. Investigate the role of proteins as the effector molecules that carry out diverse cellular activities, such as catalyzing biochemical reactions, transporting molecules, signal transduction, gene regulation, structural support, immune defense, and metabolic regulation in cells and organisms. 5. Analyze the social, legal, and ethical implications of genetic research and biotechnology, including issues related to genetic privacy, informed consent, genetic testing, gene editing technologies, designer babies, gene patents, cloning, genetic discrimination, and personalized medicine applications. 6. Explore the ethical considerations surrounding the use of genetic information in medical research, forensics, agriculture, and biomedicine, evaluating the potential benefits, risks, and controversies associated with genetic technologies in enhancing human health, disease prevention, and biodiversity conservation. 7. Investigate the societal impact of genetic advancements on healthcare delivery, genetic counseling, precision medicine, disease diagnostics, pharmacogenomics, gene therapy, and biotechnological innovations, recognizing the potential of personalized approaches to improving medical outcomes and public health. 8. Assess the legal framework regulating genetic research, biotechnology applications, and genetic data privacy, analyzing national and international regulations, guidelines, and policies that govern the use of genetic information, reproductive technologies, and genetic engineering practices. Unit 4. Homeostasis, 20 hours. 1. Investigate the concept of homeostasis as the ability of organisms to maintain internal stability and equilibrium despite external fluctuations, recognizing the delicate balance required for physiological systems to function optimally within narrow parameters. 2. Explore the mechanisms through which organ systems regulate internal conditions to achieve homeostasis, including negative feedback loops, hormonal signaling, neural control, and physiological adaptations that adjust body functions in response to changing stimuli. 3. Analyze the role of regulatory systems in maintaining homeostasis, such as the endocrine system, nervous system, immune system, and metabolic pathways, understanding how these interconnected systems coordinate responses to internal and external stimuli to preserve internal balance. 4. Study the feedback mechanisms involved in homeostatic regulation, including thermoregulation, osmoregulation, blood pressure control, glucose homeostasis, and pH balance, exploring the signals, sensors, integrators, and effectors that comprise physiological feedback loops in maintaining internal stability. 5. Examine the impact of environmental influences on homeostasis, considering factors such as temperature, humidity, air quality, nutrition, exercise, stress, and circadian rhythms, and their effects on metabolic rate, thermoregulation, hydration status, cellular function, and overall health. 6. Investigate the adaptability of biological systems in responding to environmental challenges and maintaining homeostasis under varying conditions, studying the acclimatization, desensitization, and compensatory mechanisms that enable organisms to adjust to environmental stressors and maintain internal balance. 7. Explore the consequences of homeostatic imbalances on health and disease states, including disruptions in temperature regulation, fluid balance, glucose metabolism, blood pressure regulation, immune responses, and hormonal regulation that lead to pathological conditions and clinical symptoms. 8. Analyze case studies and scenarios that illustrate disturbances in homeostasis, such as dehydration, hypothermia, hyperglycemia, hypertension, and acid-base imbalances, investigating the causes, symptoms, diagnostic tests, treatments, and preventive measures for restoring homeostatic balance. Unit 5. Population Dynamics, 21 hours. 1. Analyze the factors driving population growth and the patterns that emerge, including birth rates, death rates, migration, fertility rates, and age structure, to comprehend how these demographic variables influence the population dynamics of different regions and societies. 2. Investigate the intricate relationship between population growth, resource use, and waste production, examining how the increasing human population exerts pressure on natural resources, energy consumption, food production, water availability, and waste management systems, leading to environmental stressors and sustainability challenges. 3. Explore the concept of carrying capacity and ecological limits, understanding the constraints imposed by the Earth's finite resources, energy reserves, biodiversity, and ecosystem services in accommodating human needs and supporting sustainable development amidst population growth and resource demands. 4. Evaluate the environmental impacts of population expansion, resource extraction, land use changes, deforestation, pollution, and climate change on global ecosystems, biodiversity loss, water quality, air pollution, and soil degradation, recognizing the threats posed to Earth's long-term viability and ecological balance. 5. Examine technological advancements and innovations that can contribute to reducing the environmental footprint associated with population growth, resource consumption, and waste generation, such as renewable energy solutions, green technologies, sustainable agriculture practices, waste reduction strategies, and circular economy models. 6. Investigate the role of science, technology, engineering, and innovation in addressing environmental challenges, developing sustainable solutions, and promoting resource efficiency, conservation, and environmental stewardship in the face of growing population pressures and natural resource constraints. 7. Study the global efforts and initiatives aimed at promoting sustainable development, environmental conservation, climate action, and biodiversity protection to mitigate the impacts of population growth, climate change, habitat destruction, and unsustainable resource exploitation on the planet's ecosystems and human well-being. 8. Engage in discussions, debates, and research projects on population dynamics and environmental sustainability, examining diverse perspectives, ethical considerations, policy implications, and community actions that can shape sustainable practices, promote ecological resilience, and foster a harmonious equilibrium between human society and the natural world. RST and final exam 30%. 1. Final exam. The final exam is a comprehensive assessment that covers the key concepts, theories, and skills learned throughout the course. Students will have 3 hours to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding in a proctored environment, with the exam accounting for 30% of their final grade. It will test students' ability to synthesize information, analyze complex problems, and apply critical thinking skills to exam questions. 2. RST, Research and Study Time. The RST provides students with dedicated time for research, review, and preparation for the final exam. Students will have 6 hours of proctored assessment time to deepen their understanding of course material, review notes, conduct additional research, and practice exam-style questions. This assessment will contribute 30% towards their final grade, reflecting the importance of independent study and preparation in achieving academic success. 3. The final exam and RST are both designed to assess students' proficiency in applying course content, demonstrating critical thinking skills, and showcasing their ability to analyze and interpret course material. The exams aim to evaluate students' ability to apply acquired knowledge, methods, and concepts effectively while demonstrating their understanding and skills through problem-solving and analytical tasks. 4. The final exam will challenge students to showcase their mastery of the course content, applying theoretical concepts to real-world scenarios, and demonstrating their ability to communicate ideas clearly and logically under time constraints. The RST will provide students with the opportunity to consolidate their learning, revise key topics, and identify areas for improvement to enhance their performance in the final exam. By the end of the course, you will have achieved the following overall expectations: scientific investigation skills and career exploration. 1. Demonstrate competency in scientific investigation skills by effectively initiating and planning experiments or research projects, setting clear objectives, designing methodologies, and outlining variables and controls to ensure valid and reliable results. 2. Exhibit proficiency in performing and recording experimental procedures, data collection methods, observations, and measurements accurately and systematically, utilizing scientific tools, equipment, and technology to document findings in a clear, organized, and reproducible manner. 3. Analyze and interpret experimental data and research findings using appropriate statistical and analytical techniques, evaluating trends, patterns, relationships, and discrepancies to draw meaningful conclusions and generate insights that address research questions or hypotheses. 4. Effectively communicate scientific research outcomes, methodologies, analyses, and conclusions through written reports, oral presentations, visual aids, and digital media, conveying complex scientific concepts and findings in a clear, coherent, and structured format for diverse audiences. 5. Explore various careers in the fields of science under study, such as biology, chemistry, physics, environmental science, and related disciplines, identifying roles, responsibilities, educational requirements, skills, and job prospects in scientific research, industry, academia, healthcare, environmental conservation, and other sectors. Biochemistry. 1. Explore the technological applications of enzymes in various industrial processes, such as food production, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology, evaluating how enzymatic reactions catalyze specific biochemical transformations and enhance process efficiency and yields in industrial settings. 2. Investigate technological advances in cellular biology, such as gene editing techniques, e.g., CRISPR-Cas9, live cell imaging, single-cell sequencing, and cellular reprogramming methods that have revolutionized biomedical research, drug development, regenerative medicine, and genetic engineering applications. 3. Analyze the chemical structures, functions, and properties of biological molecules, including proteins, nucleic acids, carbohydrates, lipids, and small molecules that play essential roles in common cellular processes and biochemical reactions critical for maintaining cell structure, metabolism, signaling, and homeostasis. 4. Demonstrate an understanding of the structural diversity and functional versatility of biological molecules in cells, exploring the unique properties, interactions, and functions of proteins, enzymes, receptors, structural proteins, nucleic acids, DNA, RNA, lipids, membrane components, and carbohydrates, energy storage, recognition, that underpin cellular physiology and molecular biology. 5. Evaluate the biochemical reactions involved in maintaining normal cellular function, including energy metabolism, e.g., glycolysis, Krebs cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, DNA replication, transcription, translation, signal transduction, and regulatory processes, highlighting the molecular pathways and biochemical mechanisms essential for cellular homeostasis and organismal viability. Metabolic processes. 1. Understand and analyze the pivotal role of metabolic processes in both living, biotic, and non-living, abiotic, systems, recognizing how these processes sustain life, drive energy exchanges, and support ecosystem functioning, and evaluate how this understanding shapes personal choices related to health, nutrition, and environmental impact in everyday life. 2. Investigate the products generated through metabolic processes such as cellular respiration and photosynthesis, identifying the key biochemical pathways, molecules, and energy transformations involved in these fundamental processes that drive energy production, carbon cycling, and oxygen release essential for the survival of organisms and ecosystems. 3. Demonstrate a comprehensive understanding of the chemical changes and energy conversions that underpin metabolic processes, including the breakdown of macromolecules, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, into smaller compounds, the synthesis of biomolecules, the transfer of electrons and energy carriers, as well as the interplay of catabolic and anabolic pathways that maintain energy balance and cellular homeostasis. 4. Explore how the metabolic activities of organisms contribute to the biogeochemical cycling of elements, the regulation of atmospheric gases, and the maintenance of ecological balance in ecosystems, recognizing the interconnectedness of metabolic pathways, nutrient cycles, and energy flow in supporting biodiversity, ecosystem stability, and environmental sustainability. 5. Reflect on the significance of understanding metabolic processes and related technologies in various contexts, such as human health, agriculture, biotechnology, energy production, environmental conservation, and bioremediation, and evaluate the implications of metabolic activities on global challenges, including climate change, food security, public health, and sustainability initiatives. Molecular genetics. 1. Analyze the social, ethical, and legal implications of genetic research and biotechnology, considering issues such as genetic privacy, informed consent, genetic discrimination, and the ethical use of genetic information in healthcare, forensics, agriculture, and biomedicine. 2. Explore the structures of cell components through laboratory activities, examining organelles such as the nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and ribosomes, and investigating their roles in cellular processes like DNA replication, protein synthesis, energy production, and cellular signaling pathways. 3. Demonstrate an understanding of molecular genetics concepts, including gene expression, DNA replication, transcription, translation, gene regulation, mutations, genetic variation, and inheritance patterns, and examine how genetic modification techniques are applied in industry and agriculture to enhance crop productivity, improve nutritional value, and develop disease-resistant varieties. 4. Investigate the applications of genetic modification in various industries, such as pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, agriculture, and medicine, exploring how genetic engineering technologies are used to produce biopharmaceuticals, genetically modified organisms, GMOs, gene therapies, and transgenic crops with desirable traits in industry and agriculture. 5. Evaluate the benefits and challenges of genetic modification in addressing global issues such as food security, human health, environmental sustainability, and crop production, weighing the potential risks, regulatory frameworks, consumer perceptions, and public acceptance of genetically modified products in industry, agriculture, and healthcare. Homeostasis. 1. Assess the impact of various chemical substances and environmental factors resulting from human activity on the human body, examining how exposure to pollutants, toxins, pharmaceuticals, and lifestyle choices can influence physiological functions, health outcomes, and the body's ability to maintain homeostasis. 2. Investigate the feedback mechanisms involved in maintaining homeostasis in living organisms, analyzing how negative feedback loops, hormonal responses, neural signaling, and adaptive behaviors regulate internal balance, body temperature, blood sugar levels, hydration status, and other physiological variables to ensure stability amidst changing external conditions. 3. Demonstrate a deep understanding of the anatomy and physiology of human body systems, such as the nervous system, endocrine system, immune system, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, and renal system, by explaining the structures, functions, interactions, and regulatory processes that contribute to maintaining homeostasis and supporting overall health and well-being. 4. Explain the intricate mechanisms that enable the human body to maintain homeostasis in response to internal and external challenges, including thermoregulation, acid-base balance, osmoregulation, glucose regulation, blood pressure control, and immune responses, illustrating how adaptive responses and feedback loops contribute to internal stability and dynamic equilibrium within the body. 5. Synthesize the knowledge acquired throughout the course to integrate concepts of homeostasis, anatomy, physiology, environmental influences, and feedback mechanisms, elucidating how the body's intricate systems work together to regulate internal conditions, adapt to stressors, and promote optimal functioning and health for overall well-being. Population dynamics. 1. Analyze the complex relationships between population growth, personal consumption patterns, technological advancements, and their collective impact on the ecological footprint, evaluating how human activities affect natural resources, biodiversity, climate change, and sustainability while assessing the effectiveness of Canadian initiatives aimed at addressing population expansion. 2. Investigate the characteristics of population growth dynamics, utilizing mathematical models and statistical tools to calculate population growth rates, analyze demographic trends, predict future population sizes, and explore the ecological consequences of population growth within an ecosystem, considering factors like birth rates, death rates, migration, and carrying capacity. 3. Demonstrate an understanding of fundamental concepts related to population growth, such as exponential growth, logistic growth, population density, reproductive strategies, life history patterns, and population distribution, explaining the ecological and evolutionary factors that influence the growth dynamics of different species, populations, and communities in natural habitats. 4. Examine the factors that affect the growth of various populations of species, including biotic and abiotic factors, such as competition, predation, disease, resource availability, environmental conditions, habitat fragmentation, and human impacts, to evaluate how these factors shape population sizes, population growth rates, and ecosystem dynamics. 5. Synthesize knowledge acquired in the course to critically assess and interpret the impact of population dynamics on ecosystem health, species interactions, biodiversity conservation, ecological balance, and environmental sustainability, recognizing the interconnectedness of human populations, natural habitats, and the delicate equilibrium required for the coexistence of diverse species and the preservation of healthy ecosystems.